Book of 2 Ezra chapter 15 and verse 16. There will be great political turmoil with one group trying to overpower another and gain control while ignoring the legitimate government. There will no longer be free access to the cities because the struggle for power will bring destruction, terror, and total confusion wherever people live. All praises to Yahweh, Ba'ashem HaShai, Bahara Dash, the honors of the elders and the apostles, the great millstone, shalom to the hopeful elect, seeking to be the elect of the nation of Israel. And scattered abroad amongst the heathen, some looking like the heathen. We get the 144,000, preacher, teaching, prophet, shalom. Second Edges, that was in the GNT, just the KJV, Second Edges 15 and 12, 15 and 15, 15 and 16. I'm sorry, 15. For the sword and destruction draweth nigh, and one people shall stand up and fight against another, and swords in their hands, for there shall be sedition among men, and invading one another. They shall not regard their kings nor princes in the course of their actions stand on power. A man shall desire to go into a city and shall not be able. For because of the pride, the city shall be troubled, the house shall be afraid, and men shall be the house shall be destroyed, men shall be afraid. Now I got this video right here. Cause see, everything that's being done, it's so order could come out of it.
Network. I used to live there.
It's like the second or third time they done added a curfew in DC because of these teens, right? The second time, I believe they put laws in place. They say curfews in place. And I believe they put some type of law in place to where if you drop your kids off and they involved in teen takeovers or things of that nature, the parents are going to be held accountable for that. Well, that's not doing anything, you see? So you got this video right here on Fox News Live that says Trump threatens to take back Washington after shocking teen brawls. Now, when he says take back Washington, he's talking about putting them troops out. Now, soon this will be all over America because of the chaos everywhere. Not just of teen takeovers, but that's going to be a part of it. As we read in 2 Ezra 15. The chaos. All right? Don't forget, they're going to dispatch some troops. All right? They said October. But as we, told y'all through the spirit of prayer, about Shema Shah, Esau throw dates out there, man. We on Yahweh Shema Shah time. We know what's going to happen. All right? So, as things continue to increase and get worse, and we see all this mayhem going on, and nothing is happening when they put laws in place where they're going to put the troops out with them guns, and they're going to take rights. They're going to take your laws. It's going to be martial law. All right? And they're going to be popping people out in the street, man. All right? Especially these kids. All right? Because all manner of violence and chaos is really about to hit very soon. We just waiting for it. We got to keep reporting on it to keep our people up to date, Because if we don't continue to keep our people up to date, we'll fall back into la la land. Again, Trump threats to take back Washington after shocking teen brawls. And these damn teens. Again, you parents, don't be crying when they shoot your kids out in the street. Matter of fact, one of my favorite scriptures. Let's get that. Deuteronomy 21. I don't like YNs or YNBs. Deuteronomy 21:18. If a man have a stubborn and rebellious son or daughter, which will not obey the voice of his father or the voice of his mother, and that when they have chastened him will not hearken unto them, then shall his father and his mother lay hold on him and bring him out unto the elders of his city and unto the gate of his place, and they shall say unto the elders of his place, this our son is stubborn and rebellious, he will not obey our voice, he is a glutton and a drunkard, meaning he's full of wickedness, he won't do right. And all the men of his city shall stone him with stones that he die, So shalt thou put evil away from among you, and all Israel shall hear and fear. You see? And if a man have committed a sin worthy of death, and he be to be put to death, and thou hang him on a tree. So you see, hey, this is a part of our custom. You have rebellious children, you put them to death, man. All right, you kill them. That's not murder, that's killing. It's justifiable. And how about Shema Shai is putting the spirit on Esau to do the same thing. All right, remember, this is a judgment playing out throughout the earth. And it also goes to show you that, hey, these are our customs. And this, hey, a lot of Eastern Standard ways, this is the Eastern Standard. You got rebellious kids, the parents, the father and the mother knew that, hey, if the kids were rebellious, they won't do right, then, hey, you got to put them out of their misery, man. They're not right. They're not right. They cause you more harm and stress while they're alive doing wickedness and evil, than anything. They don't mean you any good. It's nothing but harm. So you see what Yahweh Shema Shabbat do to 2/3 of Israel. All right, and us as a hopeful elect, that's seeking to be the elect, Yahweh Shema Shabbat, we don't understand that.
Network. I used to live there.
Some of ours will get taken if they ain't right. Some of us will be taken if we don't stay on the right track, But we can see a lot of kids, young adults, men and women get wiped out, man. But hey, the point being, hey, they're gonna set these troops out sooner or later. So we just read it. If you believe in the scriptures, hey, you got to believe the prophecies. It's gonna happen sooner or later.
Okay, D.C. Mayor Muriel Bowser is filing an order to reinstate the juvenile curfew again this weekend through Sunday night, starting at 8 o'clock in the Navy Yard neighborhood of Washington and 11 p.m. citywide. The Navy Yard area has been the site of multiple teen takeovers recently. We've been talking about it on this network. I used to live there, and I left because of all of the insanity you're watching on the screen. And that includes an all-out brawl at a Chipotle restaurant last month. The curfew bars all kids under 18 now from gathering in a group of 9 or more in an area Metro Police now call at risk for disorderly conduct by youth. So 3 teenagers now arrested just this week on assault in connection to that chaotic fight inside a Navy Yard Chipotle last month. And you can see the dad in this video in a red shirt shielding his kids from that brawl. They're just there to get some food. D.C. Metro Police are now still looking for a 4th suspect. For more, let's bring in that Maryland dad that you saw in that video who protected his kids at the restaurant. He is Raphael Howdy-Gee. And also with him, D.C. Police Union President Greg Pemberton, who's just been watching this city go down the drain the last couple of years here. So, Raphael, tell us all your story. You're there. I've been at this Chipotle so many times. You're there getting some food with your kids. What happens?
That's right, Aisha. Thank you for having me on the show. And I've had so many people come to me and say, I know that Chipotle, right? And so it's a safe spot to eat with kids after a ball game. So that was my going into it, was in there. As I said in previous reports there, that was just eating, heard a scuffle, alarms went up, right? I look up, and then I told the children, get up, get behind me. Didn't know the level of the extent of what was going to happen, but then it started escalating. And then I said in another interview, it just was like an ambush. It just turned into WrestleMania. And what a lot of folks don't know is that video was just the last 10 or 15 seconds. I actually believe that it was about an 8-minute long from start to finish. In the WrestleMania crazy, it was about 4 minutes. But, there's time and space. And then, I don't know the exacts, but that's what I'm projecting. And
were your kids just traumatized?
Yes. So one of the things my son said was, Papa, I just can't unsee that. The other children said, I just can't unhear it. We've tried a few times to softball it, a different location, go to Chipotle, and they are just not having it. I was a season ticket holder. I am a season ticket holder of the Nats game. They don't want to come back to a Nats games, and so I'm sort of like, oh my gosh, this is
ruined the experience.
This is ruining it.
Yeah,
yes.
I'm so sorry for you.
Okay. Yeah.
And just for context, for people at home to understand where it is right next to Nats Park.
Right next.
There's so many cool, fun places to go right next to Nats Park. So this is like a tourism thing. This is like a problem for the entire city, not just for the people who live there who deserve to, be able to go and eat at Chipotle without any
What's
any
opportunity cost, right? Folks want to come into the city. They want to spend their hard-earned money on the weekend and do things in D.C. And now folks are like,
now
I don't think
do
so.
That.
Yeah.
Greg, the president has threatened to take over D.C. Here's the moment from the Oval Office this week.
Maybe we'll take back Washington, run it on the federal basis. We won't put up with it. We're not going to lose our businesses. By the way, Washington now is a safe, beautiful place. We have a thriving community. We got rid of the crime. We're 92% down on crime. Think of it. And we're going to be close to 100% pretty soon. You always have some whack job someplace, but we're going to be close to 100%.
But let me read you something from The Hill. They looked up some research into the crime in D.C., and they found that while the Guard's presence, the National Guard the president brought in Washington helped drive down some crime, including a 24% decline in opportunistic property crime, the report found it is not the correct tool for violent offenses and comes at a far higher cost than a traditional police law enforcement. What is the answer here?
Well, what that report fails to acknowledge is that the Metropolitan Police Department is spending more than $100 million outside of their budget on overtime in order to make sure that we're staffing these areas with the proper number of police officers, given the shortage of staffing levels that we have. The National Guard has allowed us to close that gap. So somewhere there's going to be spending. But I think the takeaway here is that when you put law enforcement resources in a neighborhood, crime goes down. And I think that's the important part of this issue, is that we need to have the right number of police officers in these right areas, and that's why the staffing issues are so important.
Raphael, we've got this big mayor's race happening in town. It makes me feel like we're in New York City now, because we just saw a Democratic Socialist, Mamdani, win in New York City, and the front runner in the D.C. mayoral race is a Democratic Socialist. And her name is Janice Lewis George, and here is her view on curfews.
Right now, using the curfew as a tool for our young people is dangerous. It is dangerous because we have federal troops who are in our city, mass ICE agents who are in our city. And these are the people enforcing this law on our young people. And these are not individuals who are trained in de-escalation.
What do you think of that, Raphael? Your dad.
Yes. So the tool, if misused, could be dangerous. But I want to clarify here, it is a stopgap measure. So a curfew is not the long-term solution. The long-term solution is for us to identify how do we get the city to have citizens that want to participate in citizenship. And I believe that the stopgap measure is the appropriate right measure, because we see that evidence. There's that feedback loop, right? You institute something, what happens?
Right.
Is there a decrease? Great.
The problem with these curfews, Greg, and I've heard this from people who live there, and by the way, there's a ton of lawmakers and Capitol Hill staffers, young people, interns, kids that live there as well. The problem with the curfews that I always hear is they only last the weekend, and then it's over, and then you're dealing with the same crap all week long.
Yeah, that's true, and it is a stopgap measure. But I think what's interesting is the hill that Janice Lewis George wants to die on is that unattended children should be able to roam city streets after 11 p.m. I think that's a pretty common sense position, that these kids should be inside and they should be, have some sort of supervision. Unfortunately, we're up against a city council that wants to make sure that there are no laws that affect juveniles, no matter what they are, no matter how bad the crime they're committing is.
Wow. Well, I hope Chipotle is paying attention. I hope the city is paying attention. And I know President Trump is very much paying attention to you both. Thank you very much for joining me. I hope your kids feel better about going back to the ballpark. That is just awful that we have kids that don't feel comfortable going to a baseball game.
Right.
Thank you, Raphael.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Be sure to like.
And not just kids don't feel comfortable, adults don't feel comfortable. Don't nobody want to be around a bunch of damn niggas, YMBs. Everywhere you go is chaos. And if you believe that man in the red shirt was just there with his kids, something wrong with you, because he was set up. He talked too damn good. He said all the right answers. The nigga didn't start nothing. Come on, man. But hey, anyway, yeah. Hey, sooner or later, man, Trump will, it need to be a permanent curfew, man. All right? And it's going to be. We ready. All right? We ready. I just wanted to real quick to spin the part. How about you, Marshall? Stay present, how about you, Marshall?